Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the PoirshaFit podcast. I am your host, Poirsha. I am now on video. So you can go to my YouTube channel, PoirshaFit, and then check out the playlist, PoirshaFit Podcast. And I will have my podcast recorded so you can video see me. I'm sitting here in my little mobile studio. My background are my beautiful plants. They're so green on this white background. I'm sitting on the floor, cross-legged, where I love to sit. And I have this little singing bowl in my hand right now, and I want you all to hear just the little chime and see if you notice any changes in your body after listening to these sounds. It could be quite annoying, but in person, the vibration and just feeling that energy feels really good. Okay, let's test my skills. So we shall begin this podcast. Here's our invocation. How is that annoying? You can let me know. I bought this cute little bowl at a yoga expo. They have a yoga expo in Pasadena. They've had them for years in January, and I bought it one time and I like it. It's a nice way to get people out of Shavasana. So, your final resting pose in yoga, a lot of people say that's their favorite pose because you just get to lay down after all of that hard work and just be for 5 to 7 minutes. And then imagine you're woken up with this little bing. To each their own. But you know what's really popular are the meditation sound baths. So sound baths are with these singing bowls and they play different ones. They have different sizes, give different vibrations, and that acts differently with your bodies and puts you in a state of relaxation, hopefully. So that's what's nice about meditation and the sound bowls and vibrations and just feeling that in your bodies. And as I've told you before in my other meditation podcasts, that when you use your voice as a tool to help you to come to that realignment space, so that little humming sound, that oh, just the vibration of the hums feels really good in your head, your ears, and your chest. And it just kind of jitters the body. And it can either like zing it to wake it up, or it can make you feel more relaxed. The deeper the voice, the deeper the tone, the more smooth, the more calm and relaxed that you feel. But it is early in the morning right now, so those smooth, calm, chill, relaxing vibes, you've already been doing that for several hours, right? It's time to wake up and zing up. And I am wired and I am ready to go today. So, for today, I wanted to share with all of you about some experiences that I had this week with my clients. I've acquired new clients in the Pilates studio and my own personal practice with my 90-day challenge that I did and continuing my jump roping and kettlebell training. And what does that all mean? What does that matter? How does that fit into 2025 fitness goals? One thing I know is that so many people are living unhappily. And that's it gets reinforced whenever I'm interacting with somebody that I'm just giving a complimentary training session to, or people who are my clients that I see once, twice, and 3 times a week. Every time we see each other, we're talking about our bodies. I always ask my clients, how does your body feel today? And then I get to hear how it's feeling, and then we ask a little bit deeper. Why do you think your shoulder is bothering you? One of my clients, he said, my shoulder has been bothering me. Why do you think so? And then so it gets you thinking about what has my lifestyle been? What has been the changes from when my shoulder felt good into why it's not? For him, he took a long break traveling, which he regretted, which anyway, I don't want people to feel regret for having to live a life. Just know that you can come back and get back to it. But that's the step that you actually need to come back and you actually need to do it again, kind of like restart. But it is a lot harder to restart something opposed to continuing it. So with him, he was gone for a while, so he wasn't practicing yoga and he wasn't practicing Pilates with me. And he said, of course, he was eating all kind of crap food. So that's the challenging part, and that's the one thing I honestly I don't understand. Um, I've been on this journey of holistic wellness, holistic health, where my health is my number one priority, but I've always been on the healthier side. That stemmed from my mom and my dad. They decided to change the way that they ate from where their parents ate. My dad told me that my granddad was very healthy in his eating, and he even had a saying, which I don't really remember. But my granddad was, I get my physique from my dad's. My granddad had very big, strong arms. He had this toned waist all the way into his 30s until he passed away. My dad said he just was very minimal with eating junk. Like he didn't like eating sugar and extra salt. He always had his vegetables and had his proteins, and he was just big on being disciplined in his eating. My grandmother, his wife, she was more so into eating sweets, um and their physiques were different. My grandma, she was heavier, but not like super overweight. But she was still active, at least walking around and cleaning and all of that stuff. So still an active lifestyle. But my granddad, that man was ripped. So then we have my mom, who my mom, she's always been thin and then just womanly Coke bottle shape. Never really needing to work out. Of course, she played sports. She ran track in school. My dad said she was really fast, but her whole life she's maintained by walking. My mom loves to walk, and she bought those VHS tapes, and we watched the workouts. So I grew up doing the workout tapes with my mom, the Jane Fonda. I remember the Abs of Steel. There were a few others that we would watch, and I would just do them with her. So we grew up on fitness videos, and my mom walks even to this day with her best friend. They go on long walks and hikes. So very active parents. My mom, poor thing, she tried. She tried to not have her girls, as she calls us, not have us eating candy. She said we didn't know what candy was until many years into our lives, until, of course, who gave us candy? Who was it? Of course, it was her brother. Our uncle, our Uncle Ricky spoiled us, gave us what we wanted, and he gave us candy. And my mom found out because one day we were asking her for candy, and she's like, "What are you talking about? What do you mean candy?" My mom used to tell us to eat corn as a snack. I'll never forget it. Mom, we're hungry. Eat some corn. She was serious. My mom would say also, if we're hungry, eat fruit, grab a banana, eat oranges. It's like, well, I already ate a banana. Eat another one. Like, what? What do you mean? Eat two bananas? Have you guys ever thought about that? I feel like it's a thing that we don't do. Like, we don't sit and eat two of something. What do you mean? Of course, you're not going to get full off of one banana, right? You're not going to get full off of one orange. But what if you eat three oranges and two bananas, and that's your meal? You will get full if you eat something like that, but we only just eat one and one of this and one of that. Huh. Well, I didn't start eating multiples of the same fruit until adulthood, and most likely more towards now, more recently in my life. Right now, I live in a place where there's fruit trees. So there's tangerines and oranges and lemons and grapefruits. So right now, I've been snacking on the fruit that's provided from the trees. So I'll sit and eat like 3 to 4 tangerines, 1 or 2 oranges, and that really keeps me full. And that's what I wanted to talk about at some point, not necessarily on this episode, but I gave up when I started my 90-day challenge in October. I gave up sweets because I was a fiend. I've been a fiend for sweets for, I guess, forever. But when you're living your life and you're working out and you're training, and for me, a competitive athlete, it doesn't really matter if you're eating sweets because you're burning so many calories, whatever, right? But as we get older, our lives become a little bit more sedentary. Luckily, my life is not sedentary because of the professions that I've chosen. They've all been professions where I'm always standing up, walking around, moving around, doing this, doing that. But we're not profusely sweating. So we can keep on the pounds if we're not actually working it out. So thank God I've found my place of where I belong, and that is in the fitness industry. So I'm teaching mm, right now 5 group classes a week. And in my fitness classes, I'm doing the workouts with my students. So I'm in the front of the class and I'm doing it as I'm teaching it. Before, I would just walk around and then demonstrate here and there. But apparently, that's a little bit too intimidating, from what I've heard from students. So I said, fine, I'll sit on my mat, I'll do the workout, and you can watch me and we'll all do it together. So I get my workouts there. But that's still not enough. Because why? Because the workouts that I teach when I teach a class, those classes are created for the students. The students are a mixture of beginner, intermediate, and very, very few are advanced. Very few. Maybe like one student is an advanced mover out of, I don't know, out of the whole week that I've seen. I don't know. I haven't really seen it. I remember one time this girl impressed me recently. She's a dancer, and I could just see it in her body that she was just very well connected. And I asked her after class about it, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm a dancer." And I was like, "Okay, that makes sense." She is very strong and very flexible. Um, so anyway, those workouts are mostly for my students. I'm an advanced practitioner, so I need more intensity. I just need more. So I need my own time to work out. And that's where the kettlebell training and the jump roping came in into my life. I decided to start this training in October, and here we are in January. It's already past my 90 days. I crushed all my goals that I had, and now I'm just coasting and continuing, and I want to continue to get better. So last night, actually this week, I had a 3 day break in my own personal practice, and I picked it up last night. And after 3 days, I get worried, like, am I going to have the same stamina? Am I going to be able to jump rope for 15, 20, 25 minutes after I've taken 3 days of a break? So that's where 3 days of a break is too much. I think 1 day break is plenty. Once you get into that 2 day mark, and then you're like, oh, 3 days. Oh my gosh, if you don't work out for 4 days, oh, forget about it. But remember, I'm still working out in the classes, so I'm still moving my body and that, but my own strong workouts. I need that daily. So I'm just trying to get back into that because I have picked up with my clients again. Thank God. They're coming back because they're ready to just like get back into it. So I've just been a little bit busier with training, so I get a little tired physically and a little tired mentally. But anyway, last night I was like, we're doing it, girl. So I showed up. I did sometimes I'll jump rope first, do 10, 15, just depends, 20, 25 minutes, depending on how much time I have. And then I'll do my kettlebell training. And I like to switch it up, or sometimes I'll do the kettlebells first and then I'll jump rope after. Now, why do I switch it up? Because I want to know that I still have energy in my tank to do the jump rope after a strong, usually hour of lifting kettlebells. So I'll do kettlebell swings where you're up and you're swinging it through the legs. I'll do cleans and presses, stretch my arm overhead, press it like that. And then I'll walk around the gym. Let's say the arm is up, and I'll walk around with the kettlebell in my arm, walk here, and then I'll take both arms and walk around the gym like this. So, very strong training I do with those kettlebells. And then last night, so I did the kettlebells first, and then I finished off with a 15-minute jump rope. And that 15 minutes felt great. To be honest, after taking 3 days of a break, I felt fantastic. So I was really happy with my body and how I was feeling because the day before, that day, I did and taught, of course, a yoga class. Right after, I teach Pilates. Then, around from 1 to 4, I trained Pilates in the studio. So I was the body for my teacher, Carrie Samper. She created the Equinox Pilates training program. So, how you get certified to be a 450-hour comprehensive instructor in the studio, she created the program, and I did the program in 2021 and graduated and was hired while I was in the program at Equinox. So that's why I've been in the Pilates studio and I've been training since then. What's great about my teacher, Carrie Samper, is she is Joseph Pilates' student, Romana. That's her teacher. Her teacher's passed on now, of course. But so I have a very close lineage to Joseph Pilates, and Carrie is a classically trained instructor, obviously. So she teaches classically. So I'm a classically trained teacher. So she films for the education program. So all of the students who are learning how to become teachers, they need to see how to do the exercises, and I am the body for that. For I do the beginner, we film beginner, intermediate, and all the advanced exercises. So I've been teaching in the Pilates studio since 2021, October. And so it's been 4 years now. No, 3 years because we're not into this year yet. So 3 years I've been doing these filming for her, and it's been so much fun, but they're intense. It's like we're packed out with exercises that I have to do. And it's really fun when we're in the studio filming. It's just me and her. So we're like, okay, we're going to do this exercise is next. She sets up the camera. Um, some of them I'll go through if I don't remember, like, okay, what are we doing again? Okay, it's this, arms up, down, then I'll pull the abs back and do this, and I'll do them real quick. And some of the exercises, you guys, like these push-ups that we do on the small chair, it's insane. And I haven't done that advanced exercise literally since the program in 2021. And now I have to do it on film, on camera. and we just try and do everything in one take because who wants to teach the setup and the exercise because you get tired. So my arms were cooked after the end of those 3 hours of doing that. So after that, yeah, I was done for the day, but my body feels strong. And I want to continue to be the demo body um for all these exercises. So that's also a reason why I want to continue being strong and being fit in my own training so that I don't have to feel like, oh no, Carrie's asking me to film. I've got to drop weight. I've got to quickly hurry and get back in shape in like a week or 2 weeks. I want to just stay fit, stay, keep up with my endurance, um, stay in shape so that if there's an opportunity for me to film, that I'm ready. I can do it. I'm not gassed, right? And yes, I am a teacher, but how does this apply to you? Right? What's in it for all of you? I would like for you to want to stay healthy and to stay fit in your life because it helps you to feel better every day. One thing that I experience with my clients is that most people are unhappy. They're unhappy in their bodies, they're unhappy with what they see in the mirror. They nitpick every little thing, looking at their arm, saying, oh, I'm trying to shake my arm. I don't like these wiggles and jiggles. I'm like, okay, well, my arm moves too. Welcome to having skin, right? You need the skin because when you make a muscle, no, my arm isn't jiggling. It needs space for this muscle, the skin, when it's not like that, right? So not everybody has muscle, strong muscles like that. It is maybe more fat than muscle, but we have to dedicate and we have to commit to this lifestyle. And you have to see the long game. And this is what I talk to my clients about. It's my clients, I have a new client and she has a lot of challenges with mentally just looking at her body and really disliking what she sees. And she told me that she has to train herself to like what she sees, to love the body that she has. And I said, yes, you must love this body because it's the only one you have for now. And we must take care of it and at least loving yourself through all different versions of yourself, right? We're not always fit. We get out of shape. Life happens and and to feel as though you dislike yourself for not being where you want to be, that's really hurtful and it's a damaging place to be in. And I've been there where I looked at myself in the mirror and I didn't like who I saw. To live that way every day without having some kind of hope, some kind of vision of knowing that you're not going to be in this place forever, that you are going to get yourself out of this position. I believed that I could. I knew that I could because I decided it. I decided that I wasn't going to allow this overweight back injury to define me, to be who I was, because I've always known myself to be strong. I've always been fit. I've always been strong. I've always been capable. I've always been amongst the best of the best in sports. And I just could not see myself anything other than being that. So I chose to see that version of me. And luckily, life, God, the universe, energy, all things helped me, led me to making decisions that were going to guide me to this fit lifestyle. And that was bringing me back to the fitness practice, to practicing yoga. So, yoga was the one that sparked up this passion again for sports after leaving sports behind in college. I started working in my corporate life and no more playing sports, no more teams, and you just kind of get overweight. You're just eating and kind of just sleeping and living life, and you're not doing what you've done your whole life. But I found my way back. And so, my job, what I am inspiring my clients. I'm having these conversations and I'm seeing the vision for them because I know that they can get to where they want to get to. They just have to make a decision and they have to commit. The slogan, the campaign for Equinox right now, again, is to commit to something. And that was my other client who I've had. She comes twice a week for months. We've been on this journey together. She just told me, she's always telling me about her work. Like, oh, I don't think I'll be able to make it on this day because work and wah, 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 wah. So she texted me the night before this week and said, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it. I have work, I have this project, and la 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 la. I was asleep, so I didn't see the text. Then after that, she texts, never mind, I'll be able to make it such and such. Over anyway. So I didn't respond because I woke up in the morning and I already saw, okay, we're on. So she comes to our training at night that night and she says, you know what, Poirsha? I decided to listen to what Equinox said and to commit to something. And I decided that I made a commitment to myself to show up to you and train with you 2 times a week. And I'm not going to continue to allow my job to prevent me from seeing my goals, from committing to myself. She's like, no, I committed. I have to follow through. And I told her, I'm so glad you said that. I've been waiting for this moment to where you're finally done putting your work first and you start putting yourself first. Because listen, you guys, you're not putting yourself first above work every day, all day. We're literally talking about out of an entire 24 hours that you have that we've created for a day. One day, as we say, marks 24 hours. You're saying that you don't have an hour to give to yourself? Okay, let's be honest. Between driving time and getting there and getting home and whatever, the most it's going to be is 2 hours. So, 2 hours out of 24 hours a day, you're saying that you don't have that time. Huh? That's not true, is it? You do have the time. We all have the time. We have to make the time. We have to schedule it because it's important. It's our well-being. It's it's going to change how we feel about ourselves when we start to see ourselves slimming out. When we start to see cuts in the arms. We notice things. Clients start to notice. They feel it. The exercises that they couldn't do before, they're able to do. Why? You're getting stronger. Always tell me, Poirsha, I feel stronger and it hasn't been that long. I have a client who she was doing personal training. So a lot of my clients, because I work at the gym, they have everyone gets a personal training session and they get a Pilates training session. That's complimentary. So some people will do personal training and then they'll experience Pilates and they'll want to do both, which I love. Because yes, do it all. Because there's things, there's exercises, there's body movements that you'll do in personal training. There's philosophies over there that differ in the Pilates studio. So Pilates is all about moving your body from your powerhouse. Your powerhouse is from your core, your deep, strong core muscles. How do you carry yourself? How do you sit? How do you walk? How do you stand? How do you bend forward to pick something off of the floor? You want to be engaged in using your powerhouse. And we train you to do that in everything that you do. So, she's been doing personal training. She took a class with me. I subbed a class, a Pilates, mat Pilates class. And after class, based on what I said, based on what she felt, she said, "Oh my gosh, this Pilates class, I feel like this is the missing piece in my life. This is what I've needed, like to feel long, to feel stretched out, but also feel strong." I said, yes. So from that, I booked her complimentary session. We had our complimentary session in the Pilates studio using the different apparatuses or equipment, and she loved it. She had a lot of questions. I had to sell her hard on how this will really help her and how this and personal training together is going to get her to achieve her fitness goals. Because a lot of people have fear of, well, I have these injuries. Are you sure I'm going to be able to do it? Or they've been doing a certain practice for so long, they haven't really seen many results. So they're not really bought in. They're not sure. But she was, she was like, okay, I want to do it. I want to try it out. So she bought 6 sessions and we trained once a week. So we trained 4 times together. So once a week. So for a month. And she just told me last session that we had, she said, "Poirsha, I want to tell you 4 things, but I'm just going to tell you guys the one thing she told me. One thing is, just since we've had our sessions, and of course, she trains once a week, also personal training, right? But I'm the newest one." She's like, "I took a group fitness class, and the strongest thing I felt was my core." She said the core exercises, I was able to do all of them. I was able to keep up. And she said that has been the big difference maker so far. And she says, I think about my posture when I'm walking around, when I'm sitting. She's a teacher, she teaches. And she said, she's like, it's just so eye opening and it's so life changing. And she said she thinks about her glutes and engaging her glutes when she's walking around. This is only a short amount of time. But this is what I'm always teaching. I'm always educating my clients. I'm not just taking them through random exercises and just them not knowing what they're doing and why they're doing it. I'm always educating why they're doing this and how this is going to help them in their life and what my vision is for them. And this is my vision. It's I want my clients to be able to have these intelligent mind body conversations with themselves. Like, oh, I need to stand up. Oh, my collarbones. I need to widen my collarbones. My neck. I can lengthen my neck. Lift up out of my lower back. And all of a sudden, you feel really tall. You grow a few more inches. People don't think I'm as short as I am. I'm 5'4". People feel like I'm 5'6" because I stand tall. I walk tall. I carry myself tall because my muscles have been trained to just be upright. That's what feels most comfortable. So after those 6 sessions, we haven't even finished the 6 sessions. She went and bought 24 sessions of Pilates and 24 sessions of personal training. She's like, I'm committed. I am all in. And so every week we're scheduling because our schedule is different. So we have to schedule every week. It's not the same time, but we are getting it in once a week. So she's doing personal training, Pilates with me once a week, and working with her physical therapy. And her physical therapists were like praising her for doing Pilates. They were so happy. So, you guys, this is what I'm saying. You can heal your bodies, moving your body. Don't allow yourself to accept that you can't do it because of your age. Your age only has a small percentage of why you're in the position that you're in. What's a bigger percentage of why you feel the way you do is because of your lifestyle habits. How have you trained your body all of these years? Have you trained it to just sit down? Have you trained it to slouch and round your back like this? Well, if you're constantly sitting like this, rounded in your back, slouchy, slouchy, bent over forward, curled over, typing on the computer with your shoulders scrunched up on your ears, then yes, you're not going to feel good. If your hips, you're constantly just sitting and you're scrunched in a chair, because you probably sit in a chair like this. What if you trained yourself to sit upright? Type, 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 type. You're lengthening your spine and you move differently. If you stretched, if you worked out, and you did that lifestyle consistently, I bet you wouldn't feel the way you feel now. You don't feel old. People only feel old when they're inflexible and weak. Did you hear that? People only feel old when they're inflexible and they're weak. People who feel strong, who are strong, and they're flexible, they feel younger. It's like they don't want to accept their age. And of course, they have this bubbly energy too, right? So you can start right now by changing the course of your life, where you see yourself in the next 5 years. Majority of my clients are in their 50s and 60s. 50s and 60s are where majority of my clients are. And these people have realized that their lifestyle habits have gotten them to a place where they're unhappy. And if they're women, a lot of them are post-menopausal. And so they went from not having any weight concerns to now the weight seems like it's not coming off and they're struggling. And now we have to change our lifestyles. And it's not easy. It really isn't. And my heart goes out for these women because I'm not there yet, but I know that I'm going to be there one day. But I know now what's going to happen later on. So I'm doing what I need to do now so that I won't have to deal with the issues that they're dealing with. So if you're in your 50s and your 60s and you accept that you're old, I don't know, then you're just going to be old. But if you shift your perspective to thinking about, well, what if I live until I'm 90, or if I'm into my 90s, or if I live till 100? If you were your 90 and 100-year-old self, you would look back onto the you now who's in their 50s and 60s and say, wow, I was really young. But now in your 50s and 60s, you're saying old because you're looking back. We need to stop looking back. Get out of the past. That's what's keeping you in this place of unhappiness. If you could see your future and you can see that you have a lot of years ahead of you, how do you want to spend the next 30, 40 years? Do you want to keep saying the same old thing? Oh, I'm so not flexible. Oh, my hips are tight. Oh, my hamstrings are tight. My shoulder is frozen. My shoulder, I can't lift my arm past here. How long are we going to keep saying that? How long are we going to be unhappy with like arm jiggles or my legs are too big, like they're not slim enough. My abs, my core isn't strong enough. When do we stop saying that? When do we get to a place where we are flexible and we are strong? We feel fit. You can get there. You have to start now because you have so much more life ahead of you. We need to get out of the past, you guys. Leave that stuff behind. I don't know what happens when you get into your 50s and you just start saying, oh, well, I'm not a spring chicken. And oh, well, I used to be able to do this. I used to do that. I was so this. I was so that. Well, how about when you're in your 80s? Your was and past was the now. The you now is at some point going to be in the past. So when are you finally going to be happy with where you are right here, right now? It is possible to wake up every single day and look at yourself in the mirror and be excited and to love the the being that you see, to love the body that you see. And I've gotten myself to that point, and I've been living this life for a long time where I'm happy to have this physique. There's always more that we can do. And of course, that's why I'm continuing my training. There's more that I want to see in my body, but I'm happy. I'm not unhappy. And I don't want you guys thinking, oh, okay, well, if I looked like you, because this is what people say, well, if I look like you, I'd be happy too. But you can look like you, but the fit version of you. So can we bring back the fit version of you, but the today version? Not 20 years old, not the 30-year-old, whatever. Let's bring in the fit version of yourself right here, right now, this year. Another complaint with my clients has been my most recent client is she was thin for most of her life. And then the pandemic happened. The pandemic at this point was so many years ago. Are we still, we're still carrying the pandemic weight. And I'm not coming down on you. I'm just speaking facts. This is what I'm hearing. So the question is, when are we going to get over that story? When do we stop pressing play on this same tape over and over and over? Let's throw out that old tape and let's put a new one in to where we are on our journey to become fit again, to be in the best shape of our lives. Let's do it now. I'm here. I'm motivated. I'm motivated to get myself in the best shape of my life, which I don't know what that's going to look like, but I've never actually trained with kettlebells for a year. I've never actually jump rope for every day for a year. I've never done it. I'm ready to jump rope, do kettlebells, and even use some gym equipment this year. I'm fired up because I'm curious to see what my body could look like. What can my mindset be if I was in a, I don't know, the strongest I've ever been? I don't know that version of Portia, but I want to get to know her. I want to experience her. I want to see what that's like. And people also use these excuses with me. Oh, well, have you ever had kids? People love saying that. Oh, well, you had kids? And then it's like, no. And then they'll just like in their mind, okay, well, that's why you look like that. I saw a comment recently on somebody's post. They're like, "Oh yeah, it was Jennifer Aniston. She was like doing some fitness, I don't know, some fitness commercial or something, where she's working out. And a lot of the comments were, "Oh my gosh, she looks so good, whatever, whatever." Someone's comment was, "I would like to see her body after she has kids." And then then you actually see people who were pregnant, who had many children, and who are ripped. And then you're going to make an excuse in your mind again. Oh, well, must be nice to be able to work at the gym, or it must be nice to be able to work out at the gym. And then what? You're going to say, oh, well, she has a husband, so they work out together, or the husband can watch the kids, and whatever. You can make excuses up the yin yang for why you have not achieved your own personal goals. But don't come at other people because they made the time and you can make the time. You have just chosen to prioritize other things. So the priority needs to shift and switch to your health of your body and your mind. Because when you are fit and in shape, you feel better about yourself. Now, you need to also, of course, I teach, you need to be fit in your mind. Your mind needs to be trained also. It's not just the body. So we need to do our mindfulness practices. I don't know what that is for you, but for me, it's been the meditation. It's being in silence. One big thing about me is I embrace, I enjoy, I find peace in quiet. I love early mornings, 4 a.m., 5 a.m., because it's dark and it's silent. I love late nights for the same reason, because I feel like I can shut out all the voices from other people. I can just drain them out, quiet them out, and I can finally hear myself. I love to listen to me. I love to get in these quiet places so that I can listen to God. God for me is not some man who's judging me. God is the all, the everything, the the source of where I came from, where we all came from. That is my belief. It is this connection that I have with everything, with my plants, who I love. I'm connected with nature. And when I am in silence, I get to reconnect and I get to hear my truth. I get to connect with my past, present, future, my many possibilities of who I am, my higher self. I can hear, I can feel, and I'm guided by what I feel and what I hear. So that's where we want to be, listening to the truest, most knowledgeable version of ourselves. And check the time. And that's where I want all of you to get to where your voice is the voice of reason. You're listening to your own intuition and you're able to feed your mind with love. Feed your mind with discipline. Be disciplined in your mind, be disciplined in your body so that you can live the best life right here, right now. Have the body of your dreams right now. Why not? It's never too late. Get started now. And guess what? If you never actually get there, you are still going to progress. You are going to be a lot further and a lot stronger than where you are right now. So here's my suggestion. We're going to close. My suggestion is this is what I suggested to my clients. Get your body fat test done right now. Go to the gym, get your in-body test. I have a paper here. Hold on. It looks something like this. It has a breakdown of your current weight, how many pounds of muscle you have, how many pounds of fat, um, your body fat percentage. It has how much weight you have in your arms, in your legs, in your trunk, in your midsection. That's where that is. And also, it has your body fat mass and your lean body mass and your metabolic rate. So, how much your body actually burns, how many calories you burn just from living every day. And from that number, you can gauge, you can decide, you'll know how much calories you need to be intaking every day in order to lose weight or to gain weight, how much you need to be burning on top of that. And also, it'll tell you how many pounds you really need to lose. So I have my clients taking these tests, especially this month in January, because I want them to commit to me for an entire year. Let's see where you can get to by the end of this year in December if you stay committed. So I want you all to get your test done. And please, if you want, share it with me or reach out to me. Find ways to reach out to me. I'm very available on Instagram, in these podcast notes. Share with me. If you don't want to tell anyone, tell me. I'm a safe place. I'm here to help. I have the answers. I know how you can take yourself from being in a place where you don't like your size to getting to a place where you love your body and you are fit. I've done it. I've trained people to do it. I've trained people to prepare their bodies for where they want to get to. So, this is what I'm gifted in. This is what I'm great at. How to get fit and stay fit and doing it naturally. Some of you are giving up. Some of my clients turn to weight loss pills, but it complicates their system. They're not well. They're not okay. They're not the healthiest they can be because they have all these foreign things inside of them. And I'm saying what needs to happen is you need to click in. You need to decide that you need to change, and the change is now. So we'll have to address your fitness routine. And of course, number one, we have to address your eating habits. What are you eating? When are you eating it? The mentality around why are you eating it? We don't just eat food now because it's a necessity. We eat food for emotional reasons. And we need to get to the bottom of that. And I'm here to help. Okay. I am here to help. So reach out to me. I have my PoirshaFit Club community that is going to be launching in February. So I think I'll launch it in 2 weeks. We are going to start this community. It's a monthly membership community where I will have 3 classes a week minimum for all of you to take. So I'll film them. You'll be able to watch them whenever you want to watch them. But it's going to be 3 classes a week. Plus, we're going to be on a once a week weekly phone call to talk about your successes, your challenges in your mind body fitness. We will have goals. We will have monthly themes. I think the first one's going to be food. I want to start just immediately talking about food and how we can help our eating habits. So that's going to be in February. So you guys look out for the link. I think I'll put it in the notes in my podcast. You'll see the link in my Porsha Fit Instagram. It'll be everywhere. So you'll be able to sign up to be a part of my group, my community, and we're just going to be on this journey together for however long. I want to just keep it going. I know you need help, and I'm a safe space because I know exactly where you are. I've been where you are. I've been overweight. I have photos to prove it. I have family members to prove it. And I've gotten myself here. And I'm going to stay here for the rest of my life, no matter what. No matter how many pregnancies this girl's having, your girl will be fit. I will put in that work because it's important to me. My health of my body and my mind is my number one priority, and I want it to be yours. So thank you all so much for listening in today. I will see you again next week. Namaste.